For just as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So let's take a look at what I believe probably happened. This is Passover week. So remember when Jesus, he comes into Jerusalem. This is Palm Sunday. There's a big celebration. Remember, we called that's not just Palm Sunday, but it's the day that the Jewish families would choose their lamb. Remember we talked about that last week? So they're choosing their lamb. This is a picture of everyone saying, it seemed like they chose Jesus, didn't it? Yeah. Messiah, Hosanna, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. Okay, that's what they would say in Hebrew. So there was an acceptance of the Lord. And then throughout these next 4 days, Jesus was being questioned about who are you and what do you believe? And everyone who questioned him, even Herod and Pontius Pilate and Pontius and his wife, this man is innocent. There's nothing wrong with him. He's unblemished. And so then we see that then Jesus has on Tuesday night is when he has his Passover meal with his disciples. And then Jesus is crucified on Wednesday. And we can see this is that Matthew 12:40, Jesus says, I think pretty clearly, for just as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So why did our tradition turn it into Jesus being crucified on Friday? When you read that about Jesus being in the tomb 3 days and 3 nights, doesn't it seem like that's literal? All right, because how many of you have tried to count 3 days and 3 nights out of Good Friday and Saturday, right? Like 3 out of every 2 people are good at math. When we take another look at this, we can see that this is a picture of Passover week. That if he was crucified on Wednesday, he was in the grave, buried by 6 p.m., and then we're finding that he rises from the dead. A lot of people say that he rose right on Saturday evening. We would call it Saturday evening, but it would actually be a new day. The Jewish people see the Sabbath, and most of us, when we call the Sabbath, we believe it's Friday night at sundown till Saturday at sundown. And we call that the Sabbath. So they had a day that they would prepare. So every Friday would be called preparation day. It would be the day of preparing for the Sabbath. So you actually had to prepare food and do other things. It was a preparation day. And they're talking about the crucifixion, the day of the crucifixion, that said, since it was the day of preparation, so that the bodies would not remain on the cross on the Sabbath, the Jews asked Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. So people who didn't understand Jewish culture or Jewish understanding, they thought the day of preparation was Friday and that the Sabbath was Saturday. And based on this verse, they believed that Jesus was crucified on Friday. And what I'm telling you here is that preparation day is the day before a Sabbath. A Sabbath means a day of rest, not necessarily a Saturday. Every feast day was a Sabbath or a day of rest. When Passover began on Wednesday at 6 p.m. when the sun went down, that would be called a Sabbath. Thursday would be called a day of rest. And Wednesday would still be called a preparation day. Even though it wasn't a Friday, it still will be called a preparation day because it was a day before a day of rest.